commentary of the evening. That comes from the east end of Glasgow. You can hear the atmosphere building there. It should be an absolute cracker. Celtic against Braga in the Europa League with Pat Bonner and Alistair Lamont.
Celtic in the UEFA Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome to Celtic Park and welcome to listeners who have been tuned in to Drive Time on FM. We're all together now and we will bring you Celtic against Braga in tonight's early kick-off in the Europa League. Not your typical full house here this evening. Still a pretty healthy enough crowd as Celtic look for their first European victory this season. And although they haven't been firing on all cylinders just yet, they are unbeaten in 11, barring that penalties aberration against Kairat Almaty. And that put paid to their Champions League ambitions, but a good run in this competition should certainly not be beyond them. For that to happen, a win tonight feels hugely important. Celtic in their traditional green and white hoops here at home, just about to go into their huddle as Captain Callum McGregor trots over to join the rest of his teammates, and he will lead this final team talk. And Braga all in purple, reminiscent of Fiorentina, if you know their kind of violet strip. It's very much like that. Shirt, shorts and socks all the same colour tonight as the Portuguese side, who are 7th in the league after a good start to the season, but it's really tailed off in recent weeks, and they were beaten rather ignominiously at home by the Nacional side from Madeira at the weekend, as Celtic drew nothing each here. It will be Celtic to kick us off. They'll go from left to right as we look at it from our position in the middle of the main stand, and it'll be Benjamin Nygren to kick us off as Braga, as we thought, do line up with a 5 at the back formation, and Celtic get us underway, and immediately it's young Colby Donovan getting onto the ball, but Dyson Maeda uncharacteristically gives it away.
Financial rewards of its big sister competition.
Early stages Celtic here at Celtic Park. Celtic pick up once more, and it's Cameron Carter-Vickers out to Donovan, preferred tonight to Anthony Ralston in that right back position. Back to Carter-Vickers, and then Schmeichel picks up once more inside his own penalty area. It's Bernardo getting his first touch of the night, a somewhat surprise inclusion, you would have to say. And it's Donovan down the right, but he can't find a teammate's out of play, and a throw into Braga on this near side, left hand side, as they come forward, and it will be their left wing back Leonardo Lello to take this throw, and he goes back the way to Bright RMB, who's left centre back, and then infield it goes to Vitor Carvalho, who does take up that centre back position. He can play in the midfield, but he starts at the middle of the back three for the Portuguese. It's into the midfield, picked up by the captain Ricardo Horta, who's hugely influential for them. Back it goes into Carvalho at the edge of his penalty area. RMB closed down here by Dyson Maeda. It's good pressing from Celtic, but Braga just about managed to keep it. Iheanacho trying to nick possession there, swept out to the right hand side, but it'll be picked up by young Darosha, who's the right wing back for the visitors, playing just his third game for the club. Celtic have pinched it over on that left hand side. It's Tierney. Forward it goes to Tunekti, who's impressed so far in his nascent Celtic career. Back to the captain Callum McGregor, about 30 yards from goal. Back out to Tierney, left hand side, on once more to McGregor, about 10 yards from the corner flag on that left flank, into Tunekti once more, back with Bernardo, and back to the centre circle for Carter-Vickers, into Nygren, and then Donovan out on this right hand side for Maeda. Good possession is from Celtic. Nygren now on the right hand side, sweeps the ball into the box behind line for Celtic's first corner. Good passage of play. 2 minutes in, Celtic 0, Braga 0.
Yeah, Braga taking the ball from the goalkeeper and trying to pass out of the back and forcing Celtic to go and press them, which they did successfully on that occasion, and then they get into a good position when in the last third and work that ball out to Maeda, Negrin getting involved and then getting the corner. Good test at the start here for Braga.
Here's Negrin, then right hand side. Bernardo actually swinging it out the way to Negrin, who's at the edge of the box. And then Tierney from the centre circle sweeps it back out towards Bernardo. It's intercepted though, and Braga can clear the lines. Only as far though as McGregor, who chests it for Donovan. He goes back the way, slightly misplaced that though, and it's gone out of play for a Braga throw in an advanced area down the left hand side. Quickly taken by Horta. Back the way it goes to Lello, and then picked up by RMB, the Cameroon-born German under-21 international defender. Back it goes to Hornicek, the Czech goalkeeper for Braga, towards the halfway line where Carter Vickers knocks it to Donovan. Forward he comes into Maeda, and back once more with Carter Vickers just inside his own half. Plays it short to McGregor, into Bernardo, takes a good touch in the midfield, gets it to Negrin. He goes back the way to Carter Vickers just inside his own half square for Scales, and now Tierney on the halfway line here under a little bit of pressure. Gets it out to Tinekti. They look to try and build a decent relationship. Tinekti has left the first defender in his wake. Back he goes. He's looking for Bernardo, who's just cut out. It was a good bit of play there from Tinekti. Just failed to squeeze that back to Bernardo. Otherwise, Celtic might have got the shot away.
Yeah, good initial play. He picks the ball up, and the first thing in his mind was to go and attack the wing back, which he did successfully. Got behind him. I thought he could have put in with his left foot a wee bit earlier. Obviously, he's very right-footed, and he was kind of almost waiting to get it back onto his right foot, but put it in there and let Iheanacho and Maeda was also in the box. Let them be the ones that gets the movement and try and get on the end of things.
4.5 minutes played, no goals here at Celtic Park. Plenty more European action over the course of the evening, with Rangers in Austria to play Sturm Graz, looking for their first point of the Europa League campaign, and Aberdeen get their Conference League campaign underway at home to Shakhtar Donetsk, looking to buy a win from somewhere. Anywhere will do at the moment for Aberdeen, but it's Celtic at centre stage in this early kick-off as they have possession through Carter Vickers at the back. Plays it to his left to Scales. Scales closed down there by El Wazani. Celtic keep possession though. It's Bernardo midway inside his own half. Plays it out to the right hand side for Donovan, who come up towards the halfway line and now crossing it. The young man leaves that for Maeda. Maeda now taking over, coming in field, feeds that forward. Iheanacho with the opportunity here. Can he get the shot away? He's offside.
He was offside.
It did look offside. We, like the officials, were letting play continue, but once the shot was blocked and put behind for what would have been a corner, the assistant puts up the flag, and it's a free kick to Braga almost 6 minutes in, and it's Celtic 0, Braga 0.
Yeah, it was a really good idea though. It's good play from Maeda, cutting in on the inside from this right touchline, and then Iheanacho just went a little bit quick, but it was a good run down the side of the centre halves.
That's Hornicek playing it out to the edge of the box to Gorby. A poor pass intended for Lagerbielke, but it was behind him on his return to Celtic Park, and Celtic get the throw in. Quickly taken back to Tinekti, left hand side.
It looks like to me is that Braga will always try to play out from the back, and it just gives Celtic the opportunity to go and press him, and if they can nick it. Here's young Colby Donovan made a little mistake, won it back though.
Yeah, he recovered really well there, young Donovan, having made the error, but kept his cool, didn't panic, and plays it down the line for Maeda, who's lost out, and then the goalkeeper's closed down quickly by Iheanacho, but gets out to the right hand side, and looks like a bit of shirt pulling there from Tierney, which he gets away with as it's played forward now to the halfway line. A bit more of it from Scales, but again nothing given, and it's just a throw into Braga over on the right hand side on the halfway line, 0-0.
Yeah, Braga hasn't really progressed up the pitch with their technical passing so far yet, and it'll be interesting to see if they can do that where the front players where they will occupy space.
no real surprise that they're trying to play it from the back, given that Carlos Vicens, the manager, spent his apprenticeship under Pep Guardiola at Man City, his assistant for the last 4 years, having worked his way up through the ranks, coming in as a work experience initially, got a role as assistant in the under-12s and under-13s, and over the years just worked his way through the Manchester City Academy and into the first team, and now he's out on his own as manager of Braga, and it started pretty well, as I mentioned, but it's just gone a little bit downhill in the last few weeks, and he could well do with a positive result himself and for Braga this evening, albeit he did get that good win in their first Europa League game against Feyenoord, 1-0 at home last week, which is certainly not to be sniffed at. 8 minutes in, no goals here as Schmeichel plays it out to McGregor. Celtic themselves like to play it out from the back for the most part, as Carter Vickers goes back to Schmeichel, and then forward from Tierney, over the top looking for Iheanacho. The defender leaves it to goalkeeper Hornacek, who clears up towards the halfway line, helped on, but Bernardo heads it back forward. Lagerbielke will be looking to put in a good performance against his former side here, having really didn't really get the chance to impress in those 10 appearances that he did make for Celtic in that first season back in 23-24, out on loan last season at 20 in the Netherlands, and then he made the move to Braga over the course of the summer.
Yeah, Celtic just controlling the game. They're keeping the ball very, very well. They're moving it around. They're passing it well. And there's Maeda again on the inside. Good run.
Yeah, can he find the pass? It was a good move again from Bernardo this time, but the pass wasn't forthcoming. But here's Tinekti, left-hand side, away from Da Rocha on the outside. Goes near post and he flashes it all the way across goal. No takers. Tinekti asks, well, why is not there's no one getting on the end of that? He couldn't have put a better ball in. 9 minutes in though, it's still 0-0.
Yeah, just a little bit high for people maybe to get on the end of it, but the run wasn't made across the first defender, and that's what he was almost saying to Iheanacho. Make that run. If I get that ball, I'm going to go to the byline, cut it back, you make the run, and we have an opportunity.
Yeah, but he certainly looked one of the brightest spots for Celtic in this early part of the season since he's come in, the left winger, brought in from Hammarby, as Braga again try and play out from the back, and it's Carvalho to the goalkeeper Hornacek. He then clips it out to this left hand side to Lelo, the wing back midway inside his own half, just rolls that back to Bright RMB. Infield it goes as Grilic then spreads play out to Lagerbielke, out to the right hand side for Da Rocha, tries to exchange passes in there, but already I think we can see, Packy, this is a side that are playing a little bit of a lack of confidence, but they have been given the ball back, and Lelo comes forward. Maeda backtracking, puts the toe in and wins possession, finds Nygren at the edge of the penalty area there. Back with Scales just inside the box. He clears up towards Tinekti. He was fouled there by Lagerbielke. Celtic will have the free kick midway inside their own half, left hand side. Just over 10 minutes played. Celtic 0, Braga 0.
Really good from Maeda there. You know, he recognised the danger very, very early and used that pace to get back and put a vital tackle in just as they were lining up on the edge of the box. Really, really good from Maeda, and shows his motivation is very, very strong tonight.
Carter Vickers just getting that back to Schmeichel before Victor can nip in, but Schmeichel's giving it straight to Braga, and here is Victor at the edge of the box. A little bit of a gift that from Schmeichel, but Celtic managed to make the block, and Nygren comes forward. Maeda tries to play it beyond RMB, but good recovery there from the young defender to work that back to his goalkeeper, who plays it out to the right hand side for Lagerbielke at the angle of the box, plays that forward. Scales his first to it though, good front foot defending, but then it's given away, but the referee saw a foul on Scales and brings it back for that, and Celtic will have another free kick. 12 minutes in, no goals here between Celtic and Braga in this second Europa League match of the campaign.
Yeah, that was good from Scales. You know, that ball's played up to the striker, and he anticipated it really quickly, got in front of him, and won the ball, but also won a free kick, so keeps Celtic in possession.
which McGregor will take the free kick out to Tierney left hand side and out to Tinekti, who looks the best out ball in these early stages. Left hand side of the penalty area, trying to find room on the right foot, just rolls it back to Carter Vickers, who's well advanced midway inside the Braga half. Now it's Scales left hand side for Tierney. Tierney forced back the way to Scales once more, but he's going to have to go back into his own half and rolls it back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel about 10 yards outside his penalty area, plays it into the midfield to McGregor, then back to Schmeichel once more, who's having to backpedal. He plays it towards Iheanacho, beautiful flick by Iheanacho. Now Bernardo out to the left hand side for Tinekti. Tinekti up towards the angle of the box, back goes De Rocha, sticks the boot in. Tinekti with a shot pushed away, two hands from the goalkeeper to knock it clear. Powerful hit from Tinekti, but straight at the keeper. Celtic have won it back, and then there's a free kick's going to come their way left hand side, and a yellow card early doors for the pull back there. Celtic will have the free kick down near the corner flag. They almost have the opening goal, but Tinekti denied by Hornacek in the Braga goal.
Oh, that was really good play, and it was a beautiful ball played from Schmeichel into Iheanacho, who had a lovely flick, took the defender right out of it and opened up the space for Bernardo to play that ball for Tinekti. The great thing about Tinekti is that he can go on the outside and on the inside, and he cuts in this time and has a shot, unfortunately straight at the goalkeeper.
But Celtic do have this free kick over on the left hand side as Carlos Vicens, the Braga coach, desperately tries to get word on. He's a mile outside his technical area. He's trying to get his defenders to take note of something, and the fourth official's going to come across and speak to him as Nugren. Leverkusen sends it into the penalty area. Confusion in there. Braga eventually sweep it clear. Actually, it wasn't Carlos Vicens, it was one of his assistants who was down the touchline trying to get that some sort of message on.
Set piece coach.
Yeah, very possibly, actually.
I love it when they all come out onto the sideline to do their work. The work has to be done before the game starts.
Yeah, well, eventually managed to scramble that one clear. It wasn't entirely convincing, you'd have to say, but they did get it clear, as it remains after almost quarter of an hour. Celtic 0, Braga 0, and Celtic on the defensive just here as De Rocha pokes it back to Lagerbielke. Now into the midfield for Grilic, the highly experienced Austrian international. Faced Scotland in some of the recent meetings between the two countries. Here's Carvalho back to the goalkeeper. He'll be closed down by Iheanacho, and he just sweeps up to the halfway line out of play, and Brendan Rodgers applauds the pressure being applied by his front men as the throw-in's taken down the right hand side, doesn't quite reach Nugren as it's knocked out of play by RMB.
Yeah, well, listen, you know, they know how Braga's going to play. They're always going to try to play out of back, so they can set up their press, and if they get it right, then there's an opportunity for them to maybe nick the ball. But that's for sure. Braga won't stop, I think, building the game through the goalkeeper, and Schmeichel is giving it away again.
He has again, yeah, and it's Victor picking up on the edge of the box once more, holds off Nugren, gets the shot off, it's blocked by the heel of Carter Vickers. Scales is unsure what to do with it. Schmeichel eventually grabs it. That's a couple of times though, Schmeichel, he's berating someone there, but you often see that from goalkeepers as they try to keep the heat off themselves.
Listen, you don't take risk. You know you're in European competitions. You know that it's got to, if you're going to hit that pass, it's got to be absolutely spot on. That's about 2 or 3 passes now that he's tried to play. Yes, he's trying to do maybe the right thing, but he's got to do it that it's effective.
Yeah, Celtic have golfed up possession again inside their own half. It's back in the halfway line now, just to confirm that De Rocha was yellow carded earlier on for the challenge over on the left hand side that led to the Celtic free kick a couple of minutes back. So the young wing back on a yellow in the early stages here. We've played just over 16 minutes. This time it's pull back in the midfield.
Yeah, I'm not a great lover of that ball played on the inside like that, especially when you're about 30 yards from your own goal, and if you get it wrong or just like that, Tinekti just tried to almost disguise his turn, and the ball was nicked, and he's ended up giving away a free kick.
Yeah, in a decent position this as well for Braga, as Tinekti, who has been bright going forward, but he lost possession there in a dangerous area and pulled the Braga player down, and so I think it's Horta, the captain, who is over this free kick. It's right of centre, probably about 30 yards from goal, maybe just a little bit under that. Would be ambitious to try the shot, but certainly you can hook it into the back post area. Down goes one of the Braga players, who's insisting that his shirt was being pulled. Should just be a corner. The referee is certainly waving that away, but there will be a check, as all these incidents are checked by VAR.
No, it's a corner. It's not big. But listen, it was the back post. He tried to exploit the back post, and it was Bernardo that had to do the defending. He just got there nick of time, but he's given away the corner,
which will be taken by Lello, left hand side. Outswinger towards the back post. Scales goes up there, is beaten to it, and Carvalho was close to knocking that in from 6 yards out. Still might get the chance here. Carvalho just wide, rather trundles it wide from a good position. Angles maybe slightly against him. Nonetheless, he should have been hitting the target. First real openings for Braga here at Celtic Park, but it remains, after 18 minutes, Celtic 0, Braga 0.
Yeah, Carvalho up at the back post. He's a big man. He's into the team. You can see that he has got a bit of presence about himself. And again, it's Celtic's Achilles heel, that sort of set pieces. They haven't been able to deal with it in numerous games that I've watched.
0-0 then, as Tierney picks up left hand side and crosses the halfway line. Tinekti now on that left flank, goes back the way to Scales on the halfway line. McGregor's close to him, but he goes forward once more. Tinekti tries to help it on, but only succeeds in knocking it out of play. And Braga just beginning to settle into this game, Packy, after looking a little bit nervy in the early stages.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think that early sort of maybe dominance of Celtic now has evaporated a little bit, and they're just coming into it. Now Celtic have just got to use their experience and their concentration levels have got to be really, really high, and make sure that they've given the ball away in dangerous areas on a few occasions, and has allowed Braga to grow in confidence.
Here's Carvalho just outside his penalty area. RMB takes a chance against Maida, but just a little flick takes him away from the Japanese forwards. Now it's picked up in the middle of the park by Gorby, and that's a good ball for Victor. Galloping forward is Lello down the left hand side. Victor plays it ahead of him, almost at the byline, swung towards the back post. Tierney gets it clear. It's an important clearance, but Braga pick up once more in the midfield and try and keep the pressure on, and they very much are growing into the game, and arguably having the better of the last 5 minutes or so, as RMB plays out to Lello once more. It gets the break of the ball off Donovan into the midfield for Gorby, and now it's the captain. Horta scores! Oh, what a goal from almost 40 yards, but you have to say Schmeichel's made a real hash of that. Caught unawares as Horta's effort from long distance moved in the air. Schmeichel caught by surprise and failed to keep it out the back of the net, and all of a sudden it's Celtic 0, Braga 1.
It had a vicious dip or swerve, I've got to say. You'd expect Schmeichel to save it. He's obviously gone thinking that's going to go over the crossbar's cover, and it just dipped down and in on his left hand side. A goal out of almost nothing, just picking up. And again, I just talked about how Braga, when they progress up the pitch, will they find those little spaces, which they've done on a couple of occasions now. The initial one was Victor getting into a good position, and this time I think it was Horta, was it, that scored? He got into a really good position, nobody there to be able to confront him, and he's taken it on, which you wouldn't expect him from that distance, but it's ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely no right to be shooting from there, far less scoring, but Schmeichel will not be pleased about the way that has beaten him. I don't think, definitely moved in the air, didn't it? But nonetheless, Kasper Schmeichel will feel he should have kept that out the back of the net. But Braga having, as we've been saying, just edging their way into the game in the last few minutes, and now they've edged their way in front with Ricardo Horta, their experienced captain, from long distance. But here's Iheanacho at the other end, getting the break of the ball off Carvalho, tries to come back inside, comes off the referee as Da Rocha tries to clear, and the chance is gone. And Braga will get the drop ball here, but 21, just almost 22 minutes played, and it's Celtic 0, Braga 1.
Yeah, Iheanacho, listen, Maeda was bombing up his right hand side too, and just if he could see him out of the corner of his eye, I think it would have been a better bet just to slot him in. He tried to go across the defender and he lost it.
Lelo for Braga into midfield for Grilic, and then back to RAMB, and now it's Carvalho on the edge of his own penalty area, clips it out to the left hand side. McGregor will come and try and close down Lelo, but Braga just beginning to find spaces, but that's going to be a Celtic throw-in as it's knocked out of play by Lelo, quickly taken by Donovan. Back to Scales, midway inside his own half.
Celtic have just got to keep doing what they were doing, moving that ball really well, keeping the pressure on, and not allow Braga to get it comfortable in this game. There's a long way to go.
Yeah, but they are looking more and more comfortable, and certainly the goal will give them added confidence as Schmeichel now has the ball at his feet, plays it out to this right hand side looking for Maida. Maida brings it under control just inside his own half, rolls it back to Donovan, who in turn plays it back to the edge of the box for Carter Vickers, and now it's back with Schmeichel just in the penalty spot now. The Dane clips that into the chest of Iheanacho, quickly closed down by Carvalho, who gets his head to it. Bernardo fires it forward looking for Tunekti, but in steps Lagerbielke and knocks it out of play on the far side. 1-0 Braga with a quarter of the game gone. Tierney here with the throw-in over on the far side. Ricardo Horta from distance with the only goal of the game so far, his third goal of the season, as Schmeichel gets it out to the right hand side for Donovan. Donovan comes in off that right wing, was a good ball into Bernardo. Bernardo then helps it out to the left hand side. Tunekti now, what's his pace like? Maida making his way into the box, early ball comes in, but Lagerbielke on the cover and it doesn't reach Maida. Swept out of play over here on the far side as Celtic look to counter there. 1-0 they trail.
Yeah, it was a great ball, and again Tunekti just getting into that good position, but again probably his weaker foot, and he just couldn't guide it to the back post. For Maeda had to run on the defender here with his pace.
Tierney knocks that one straight behind for a goal kick from a decent position as Hornicek prepares to take the goal kick then. The Czech former under-21 goalkeeper just taking his time here, and then plays it short to Carvalho at the edge of the 6-yard box, then into Victor, tries to help it on immediately for El Wazani. Scales does well against him, and it's knocked forward by Tierney, but across goes Carvalho, the sweeper effectively at the back there, just tries to take his time, invites Nygren onto him, and then eventually steps away from the Swede and plays it forward, and Braga pick up as Victor plays it to Lelo. Lelo turns back the way towards his goalkeeper, and he then clips that forward again. Braga finding spaces in between the Celtic defence and midfield, which will be troubling for Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, it's always a worry. You've got Victor, you've got Horta, and they're playing in high up the pitch when they have the ball at the back and they're building it, and they're finding those little spaces down the side of McGregor.
Yeah, and again they're playing round Celtic here. It's pretty impressive stuff from the Portuguese just at the moment as Lelo has it left hand side, midway inside the Celtic half, 25 played. 1-0 Braga here at Celtic Park as Gorby spins away from Bernardo and plays it short into Grilic. Back to RMB, forward for Lelo, good play again. It's Gorby picking up, stepping away from Bernardo, growing in confidence as Grilic has it on the halfway line. Back to Carvalho, edge of the centre circle, plays it to his left to RMB. He tries to squeeze it forward, comes off Maida and out for a throw-in on this near side, but certainly the Portuguese are relaxing into the game, having earned the advantage, Packy.
Yeah, of course, and the goal's given them massive confidence, and the manager wants them to play a certain style. They're technically good players and they're playing it, and when their confidence is high, everything is coming off for them, and they're now starting to control the game a little bit.
Good play from McGregor, but then he runs into Lagerbielke, who gets it to Horta, and Horta out to the left hand side for Victor. Pau Victor up to the edge of the box, can he get the shot off? He curls it right into the gloves of Kasper Schmeichel, who takes that one comfortably, but it's good play again from Braga, having picked off the ball in midfield, and Victor just unable to beat Schmeichel. 1-0 Braga.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Bernardo, and he hasn't played very much, and just the game is passing him by at this moment in time, and even though he doesn't have the ball, he's still got a job to do in filling spaces.
Braga picking up possession once more inside Celtic's half, and Brendan Rodgers will be concerned about the way the game has turned in Braga's favour as Lelo dinks that forward for Pau Victor, who's seen plenty of the ball just in these last 10 minutes. A big money signing from Barcelona in the summer, yet to really justify that tag in terms of goals, but he's becoming more influential as this game progresses. Here's Lelo left hand side, coming forward and then playing it infield to Grilic gets it back once more from Gorby and then back to Carvalho. They're knocking the ball about pretty nonchalantly at the moment, under no real pressure from Celtic, who can't get close to them, and just, as I say, finding pockets of space. It's Gorby getting it from Horta, the goal scorer. Gorby just spins back the way and plays it to Lagerbielke, who'll be enjoying this so far. 27, almost 28 played as Braga come forward down the right hand side. It's Gorby into Grilic, who plays it for RMB, who's come forward. Now it's to Lelo on the left hand side, and now Victor left hand side of the box plays it off Carter Vickers, and it's a Braga corner. And the Celtic crowd are quiet at the moment as the Portuguese
they're dominating the ball,
dictate.
aren't they? Yeah, they're dictating, you're right, Alan, and they're dominating the ball, they're moving it around, they're finding their players with ease. Celtic have gone off that sort of quick press that was evident early in the game, and Braga now is dominating. They've got the goal up.
The free kick specialist coach is out at the edge of the technical area this time, giving the signal for the attacking corner that Braga have. They threatened certainly from the last one. It went to the back post and it caused Celtic a few problems. The referee's got something to say here to a couple of players inside the 6-yard box before this one can be taken.
Well, it's 3v3 in around that penalty spot, and it's Carter Vickers, Scales, and I think it's Bernardo are the three defensive players.
And it comes towards the near post. It's won by McGregor, headed clear. It's picked up again by Braga and back out to the left hand side to Horta, who'll sweep it back in first time. Carter Vickers gets a good header clear, but again it's a Braga player who's first to it. Poked back towards the halfway line this time as RMB turns away from Maida. Then it's Lelo forward looking for Horta. I think it's just swung out of play there, according to the assistant.
Yeah, sorry, Celtic just need to get a hold of the ball, haven't they? They've just got to get a grip of it and get back to get their passing going and get a wee bit more comfortable in this game, because they haven't had a touch of the ball for the last probably, maybe 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, it feels that way. It's obviously taking a nick off a Celtic player on its way out there, because Braga have got the throw in right in front of Brendan Rodgers, who's standing arms folded at the edge of his technical area, presumably not happy with the way the first half hour has gone, as the ball's played back there to Hornacek, the goalkeeper. He brings it out to his left, and RMB can't keep that in, and the Celtic crowd try and lift the players here. They've gone a little bit quiet, the crowd, understandably, with Braga on the front foot, but looking to try and get back behind their team here as Scales has it just inside his own half, plays it out to the right hand side to Donovan as the half hour comes and goes. 1-0 Braga here at Celtic Park, thanks to Ricardo Horta's long range effort. Now it's out with Tierney left hand side, forward looking for Tinekti. Across goes Lagerbielke, plays it off Tinekti, and it'll go behind for a goal kick. And it's all going the way of the Portuguese right now, who got that terrific opening day win against Feyenoord and lead also by a goal to nil here at Celtic Park.
Celtic don't need a rush when they get the ball. Just they've got to get back into the game somehow. So they've got to keep possession a little bit and not rush it, not be too anxious that they have to go and get this goal back right away. But they just got to settle back into the game.
That win against Feyenoord is their only victory in the last 5 games, Braga, but they're not playing like that right now. This is a wonderful ball from Victor out to the left hand side for Lelo. Lelo tries to curl that in, I think in search of Horta, but it's blocked and out for a throw in this near side to Braga, midway inside the Celtic half. Celtic will be very keen to try and get back on level terms before the interval, of which there is 14 minutes until that. Braga into the Celtic penalty area once more, but Scales steps in and then Donovan knocks it clear. Carvalho heads it back forward. McGregor tries to cut it out. Comes forward now from Donovan to Maida. Maida will accept the throw in, then quickly takes that. Can't find Nugrim with it though. RMB steps in, but good alert play there from Maida, who goes in with the 50-50. I think the referee, is he given a free kick rather than a throw in there?
It's not even a foul. He's kicked the ball. The two of them obviously kind of hit the ball at the same time. You know, the players just play acting here for me, and it's a throw-in for me.
I think he's given the free kick. I mean, I'm with you, Packy. I think it should be a throw-in myself, but the referee has pointed for the free kick for a foul in his eyes by Maida on Grilic. It just looked to be 50-50 between the two players, but the German referee decides in Braga's favour instead. That free kick is taken and then clipped forward, and it's one for El Wazani to chase. He might be in behind Scales. Yeah, he's offside. Looked that way again, but you can never quite be sure when play is allowed to continue.
No, it's horrible. It really is horrible, and that's when the defenders have just got to keep playing until that whistle goes. Scales did well actually to make up the ground, because I thought he was second best to the ball when it was played over the top.
Yeah, likewise, but he did recover well, but in the end he didn't need to. But again, Celtic have just knocked that out of play here in this near side. It's going to be...
I'm just going to repeat what I said, Al. They've got to get a hold of the ball and keep it for a while, and not rush and just give the ball away and give it back to Braga, who is definitely growing in confidence.
Yeah, for sure. 12 minutes until the break. Celtic 0, Braga 1. As Gorby has it then, about 25 yards from goal, finds Horta out to the right hand side. Chance here. Well, you feel that Darosha could have taken that on himself, but instead he tried to play it back into the middle. But it will be a Braga corner, this time on the right hand side. And Celtic just, I mean, they started the game pretty well, Pack, you'd have to say. 5-10 minutes they played, you know, they were on the front foot, but for whatever reason they've just allowed Braga to take over here.
They're overrunning midfield, to be honest. They're not able to get close to the players who are just, you know, popping that ball around, and eventually then it goes wide, and it becomes almost a 2v1 situation at times when Celtic are out of position.
Corner kick from the right hand side, not entirely cleared. Horta trying to keep it alive. Now it comes to players down inside the box, both holding their head, one from either side. The referee brings a halt to play because it looks like both players will need treatment. I think it's Bernardo for Celtic, and can't quite see who it is. Just both inside the penalty area here, but both sets of medical teams coming on to make sure that both players are okay.
Yeah, this is what, you know, listen, Brendan Rodgers spoke about it, was it the last game, where he was looking forward as a coach in this competition to come up against different teams and really be a top coach. Now is a time where they have to really start thinking about how are they going to get back into this game, how are they going to get a hold of the ball again, how are they going to upset Braga and push them back into their own half of the pitch, because at this moment in time, once Braga's higher up the pitch, they're dominating the ball, they're moving it around, and it only looks as if they're going to be the ones who's going to go and score that second goal.
Both players look to be okay here, shorting off after a bit of treatment for both. Bernardo just having a little drink there, and it's Vitor Carvalho, the central defender, who also had the head knock for Braga. Now, what's the referee going to do here? Will be a drop ball, but it looks like he's going to give it in Braga's favour here, is he? Deep in Celtic territory, just outside the box to the left-hand side. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. So Braga get possession back here. Just under 10 to play, but there will be a bit of stoppage time now as a result of that particular stoppage. Braga knock it all the way back to the goalkeeper. I was quite surprised that Brendan Rodgers didn't take the opportunity to get a message on to a player or two there in that stoppage pack. It was John Kennedy who was out having the chat with a couple of players.
Yeah, I think they were speaking on the bench. I didn't see oh my word.
Slip there from Colby Donovan, allows Lello to pick up here on the left hand side, plays it forward for Victor, trying to get the better there of Carter Vickers, who's done well and wins this side the free kick, just about 25 yards from the goal line. Celtic 0, Braga 1, 36.5 minutes played, and to be fair, I think that scoreline is reflective of how the game has gone. I don't think it flatters the Portuguese side, who sit 7th in the table. Just a couple of wins from their opening 7 league games, as Negrin goes down on the challenge there of Pau Victor, and Celtic get the game moving quickly as McGregor finds Bernardo, and then out to the left hand side as Tenecti receives it from Tierney. Celtic need to get back on that front foot as they started the game, but McGregor out to the left hand side looking for Tierney. It's a kind of hopeful ball more than anything else. Tierney and Lagerbielke will go and chase it. It's just seen out of play by the Swedish central defender, and it'll be a throw into Braga deep in their own territory over on that right hand side. Yeah, it was a hopeful ball. The only positive, it's pushed Braga back into almost level with their 6-yard box over in this sort of on their right hand side, so Celtic might be able to squeeze the game and get this ball back in a dangerous position. Celtic's only defeat here in the last 8 in Europe came against the might of Bayern Munich. They've won 4 and drawn 3, but in saying that, the 1-0 win here over Young Boys last season, so they're only 1 and 9 in Europe all told, having drawn 5 and lost 3. As Kobe Donovan brings them forward. It's good play from the young man, but unfortunately for him, he just couldn't drag it under his boot and keep it in play. But he is applauded for his endeavour down that right hand side. Yeah, initially he was looking for a bit of movement from Maeda just to give him a bit of space to pass it to him. Instead he stood and the whole space closed up. He nearly got away with it himself, but he gives the throw back to Braga. Carter Vickers knocks it forward, looking for Iheanacho, but Carvalho's first to it, returned by a good header from Donovan. Iheanacho, the little nudge there on Carvalho, not penalised, but Braga get it clear up to El Wazani. Victor does well to get it back to El Wazani. 2 tall strikers there, and El Wazani's taken out of play there, and it will be a free kick to Braga on the halfway line. 38.5 minutes played, Celtic trailing by 1-0. The goal scored by Ricardo Horta from distance, not one that I think Kasper Schmeichel will be keen to see back on 20 minutes. No, it's incredible the way the game has changed. You know, when you go back to the first almost 15-20 minutes of this game, Celtic were pressing, they were in control of the game, they were passing it well. Of course, Braga was trying to get into the game, and now they've just, for the last probably 15 minutes since that goal, they've dominated possession, and they're the ones now in total control. Yeah, the referee's given them another, what seemed to me to be a pretty cheap free kick. Donovan and Lello just both challenged for the same high ball. Neither of them actually get anything on it. Goes out of play, but Lello makes a massive meal of the collision, and the referee points for a Braga free kick, whereas Donovan just got up and got on with it. But anyway, there is the free kick taken down the left hand side. One for El Wazani to chase. He gets there ahead of Carter Vickers in the left channel. Carter Vickers still with him as he goes back the way here for Grealish. Infield now for Gorby, and then back to the halfway line for R&B. Infield for Carvalho. 5 to play plus added on time as Gorby picks up on the halfway line. Plays it short to Horta, right hand side. Clips that one forward, looking for Gorby to continue his run, but it's cut out by Tierney. Then Iheanacho feeds that forward. Too much on it though for Nygren, and the intent applauded by the home fans, if not the execution, and it's all the way through to Hornacek. He had the option though to pass it left out to Nekti, and he tried to play Nygren through and just give the ball away again, and Braga's back in control. And Grealish in possession, coming back the way, spins away from Nygren and plays it to Lagerbielke. Now it's Gorby on the halfway line, right hand side. Forward comes Darosha, and back with Lagerbielke on the halfway line. Tries a big diagonal, looking to get that over Donovan. He manages to do so. Lello's there first. Donovan steps in, and it will be a goal kick. Good intervention there from the young fullback. Yeah, Celtic are just kind of almost outnumbered in the middle of the pitch. They're sitting with 2 whole midfield players, and the 2 wide players are popping on the inside. Victor and I'm trying to look at the other one, who it is. It'll come back to me on it. It's Horta. They're coming in on the inside and making it almost like a box of 4 and playing round Celtic's 3 in the middle of the pitch. It's a foul by R&B on Maeda midway inside the Celtic half. Celtic free kick with about 3.5 minutes plus added on time left in this first period. Celtic trailing by 1-0. You listen to Sports Sound here with us on BBC Radio Scotland. 2 more games to come this evening. Choice of listening at 8 o'clock with Rangers in Austria to play Sturm Graz and Aberdeen at home to Shakhtar Donetsk. But here it's Celtic 0, Braga 1 in the Europa League. Tunekti coming in field, doubled up on there, and he loses out, and some of the Celtic fans howl for a free kick, but it's not forthcoming. McGregor picks up in the clearance though. Now it's Donovan. Donovan's going to try his luck from distance. Unfortunately for him, it's well off target and behind for the goal kick, as the referee just warns Hornicek, the goalkeeper, to get a move on with things. He's keeping an eye on his watch, and he'll be adding time on at the end of this first period, as again they just delay the goal kick being taken. It'll be Carvalho to take it. He just rolls it to his left to the goalkeeper. He plays it out to Grilic, back to Carvalho, closed down by Iheanacho, out to the right to Lagerbielke. He turns away from Tunekti, then plays it forward up to El Wazani. He nods it down, looking for Pau Victor, who didn't read it, and in steps Carter Vickers. The Celtic fans want a big finish to this first half. They want an equaliser before the interval. Can Celtic provide it? As Scales plays it to his right to Donovan. Donovan advances into the Braga area, tries to step away there from Grilic. He runs into trouble though, and Braga win it, and it's knocked out of play by Horta, who was looking for Grilic, who didn't advance, and it's still 1-0 Braga, 2 minutes to play.
Again, looking at young Donovan's picking the ball up in good space, almost in an inside right channel. He's looking for Maida just to create the opportunity for him to pass it to him, because that forces him then to take an extra touch and run with the ball, and they end up losing it. Maida's just got to either go away, come back and get a ball, or come to the ball and then run beyond and allow Donovan to make a decision and give an opportunity to pass the ball.
As experienced as Maida is, he doesn't often play in this right flank for Celtic, and is that like playing in that position? Is he just having a little...
No, it's just that movement will help young Donovan. That's all he needs to do. It's you don't have to have all that experience to be able to do it. It's just a matter of wanting to do it.
Braga pick up right hand side. It's the Rocha, closed down by Tunekti, but steps away from him and forward he comes and plays it forward to Horta. Horta now into the penalty right hand side, sweeps to the back post. Lelo's there. Lelo rolls it back. It's left for Grilic, just over the top. I think Schmeichel got a touch to that. Yeah. Not sure he absolutely needed it, but he wasn't taking any chances that time, as the fingertips helped over. Grilic caught it well from 19 yards, and Braga will have the corner. It's Celtic 0, Braga 1.
Yeah, good play again from them, wasn't it? Really knew exactly what they were doing on the edge of the box. Little step over, comes to Grilic, and I think it was a deflection off the defender also. They just took it high, and Schmeichel then had to just help it on his way. He didn't get much on it.
Corner kick then right hand side, as Braga look to double their advantage before the interval here. Horta swings it out the way, looking for Da Rocha. It's headed away though by Bernardo, and Braga will pick up on the halfway line and go all the way back to Lukas Hornicek, just outside his penalty area. Just keeping an eye on the German fourth official down there, who'll show us momentarily how much will be added on as Kobe Donovan heads it out of play. 2 minutes to be added on, and we are just ticking into that right now.
Yeah, listen, at this stage Celtic will be delighted to get in at half time without losing another goal, just to get the manager and the staff to come up with a bit of a plan on how to get back into this game, whether that's bringing people off the bench, whether it's to change that sort of midfield tactic and try and match up in there, but they have to do something, because Braga has dominated play since the goal, and looking again very, very menacing on the attack when they get into that final third.
Yeah, and a poor challenge by Callum McGregor has given Braga perhaps a final opportunity in this first period from the free kick, just about 5 yards in from the left touch line, maybe about 15 from the goal line. So another threat here potentially to the Celtic goal, as the free kick's taken by Horta. It's a dangerous one, not fully cleared, as Grilic tries to fire it goalwards, takes the deflection on its way through, and I think that should be another corner. The referee hasn't pointed for it yet. The officials seem undecided, but it looks like it is going to be a corner kick eventually. But again, Celtic defence just eventually scrambling that one clear.
Yeah, it was a great ball.
Second minute of injury time.
Super ball in there, Al, just in round that 6 yard box. Goalkeeper can't come for it, and nobody gets that proper first contact on it, and it drops down into a dangerous area.
Horta from the right hand side again from the corner, pretty much the last chance of the first period. Too much on that one. Maida will just see that one out of play on this near side. Just about 20 seconds left of stoppage time. The Celtic trailing by A Ricardo Horta goal to nil. Back with Carter Vickers on the edge of his own box. Plays it into Schmeichel, who was at fault for that opening goal. Now it's McGregor for Carter Vickers. Back into Schmeichel. Schmeichel just plays it forward for Tinekti. He can't get it forward to a teammate though. Tierney knocks it forward as the half-time whistle sounds, and some muted boos reverberate around Celtic Park. The home fans not delighted by what they've seen from their side in that opening period. They started well enough, to be fair. Tinekti was looking as bright as anyone on the left-hand side, and he put a really dangerous looking ball in from the left-hand side, but there were no takers inside 9 minutes. And then he had an effort himself, pushed away by Hornacek as Celtic looked for that opening goal inside the first quarter of an hour. But then the tide began to turn on 18 minutes. Carvalho shot wide after a corner that was a threat and a sign of things to come, and just a couple of minutes later Braga got the opening goal. It was a speculative effort, I think you have to say, from Ricardo Horta, somewhere between 35 and 40 yards from goal. He was allowed too much space and time to get the shot off, and it certainly moved on its way towards goal, but nonetheless a keeper of Kasper Schmeichel's quality will feel he should have made the save. However, he made a mess of trying to do that and could only succeed in touching it into the net, and that was 1-0 Braga. And since then, really, as Paki mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the Portuguese have been the better side. Victor had a shot straight at Schmeichel. That was a comfortable save before approaching half-time. Grilic hit one, fierce drive from just outside the penalty area that Schmeichel tipped over to keep the deficit at just the one. But that's how it stands at the break in the Europa League here at Celtic Park. At half-time, it is Celtic 0, Braga 1.
Celtic in the UEFA Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound. So half-time at Celtic Park in the Europa League. Celtic 0, Braga 1. A chorus of boos there on the half-time whistle. Tom English and James McFadden are alongside me in the studio. Two more commentaries to bring you tonight. At 8 o'clock there will be a choice of listening. Sturm Graz against Rangers, also in the Europa League, and Aberdeen at home to Shakhtar Donetsk, that's in the Conference League. So James McFadden, your thoughts on that first half? As the guy was saying, Celtic started brightly, but they were dominated for large parts.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. I think it was a decent enough start, and spoke about before the game that's what Celtic would look to do. But since going behind, they've not been able to get anywhere near Braga. The goal in itself, I mean, the amount of space that Horta's in before he takes the shot, and then Kasper Schmeichel, I mean, he's got to save it. It's straight at him. There is slight movement on it, but he just misjudges it. And from that point on, Braga have toyed with Celtic. I don't see Celtic getting close enough anywhere. The midfield is wide open. Braga knocking the ball about and look like they're having a good time. So yeah, a decent enough start, but a really poor finish to the first half.
Really concerning for the Celtic fans, Tom, and I said they made their feelings perfectly clear there on the half-time whistle. A crowd of around 42,000 in Celtic Park. It's just not been good enough, has it?
No, it's been really, really poor. Really slow, pedestrian, unthreatening. Iheanacho, Nygren, Maeda and Bernardo have had a total between the four of them of 0 touches in the opposition box.
Wow.
0 touches. Iheanacho, his average field position is within the centre circle. So like there's nothing up top for Celtic. There's a bit of vulnerability at the back. Tunetki is doing his best, but they seem to be doubling up on him now and trying to because I think they see him as the only threat, and he's working really, really hard. But there's only one of him, and the rest, Celtic's performance, the rest of them is just so passive.
You said in commentary there, Pat, Celtic getting overrun in the middle of the park. What can Brendan Rodgers do to change that?
He has to match up. I think he's got to change the system. I know it's not easy to do that when you're the home team and you haven't really been used to it. But what they have in there, they've got Grilic, they've got Gorby sitting almost like two players. They've got Victor and Horta coming in off the sides, playing in there. So they end up with a box of 4 against Celtic's 3. McGregor, Bernardo and Negre, and they can't get a hold of the ball, and you can see why Carvalho has come into the team very comfortable on the ball at the back. They're using the goalkeeper, they're using him well, they're playing their way through it, and once they got higher up the pitch, they became a real threat in that, because they dominated then the middle of the pitch. Initially Celtic pressed them because they were taking that chance and risk to play out of the back, and it was comfortable for Celtic to go and press them, and they couldn't get up. But as soon as they got the goal, then it became a different story. They've got the two wing backs taking care of Celtic's wide players, so Celtic just got to change things around somehow, and they've got to come up with a different system to match up. Otherwise they will still dominate the ball, and that's where Celtic can't get close to them, and I don't know how they do it, whether that's a change of personnel. I think they will change personnel. Young Donovan's struggled a little bit in the right back position. He's made a few errors, but Celtic just can't get a hold of the ball at the moment. That's the problem.
Yeah, they have no ball carriers, Pat.
Yeah, and you mentioned Iheanacho. Iheanacho is up front on his own. He's running between Lagerbelka, Carvalho and Area Mb, and he's trying to get close to them, but they're just playing around, using it's almost like a 4v1 at times, and that's a problem. And so they're comfortable in possession. That's the problem.
They're mega comfortable. And I keep going back to this stat, this touches in the opposition box, because it does kind of reflect a little bit of the flow of play. Celtic, bear in mind, it's a home game against an average enough Braga team who are lacking in confidence. Celtic have had 7 touches between the lot of them in the opposition box. Tedeschi has had 5 of them.
Tom, they haven't had the ball for about 20 minutes of the game.
It's a home game. Like, it's amazing. I can't kind of believe what I'm seeing here. The Celtic have just been dominated.
But look at the reason why they haven't got the ball is because they're up against a team who technically are good players. They can play, and that's what the manager wants. But they've been outnumbered on the middle of the pitch, and you have to change that. You've got to try, at least for a while, to match up somehow. But Celtic are stuck with playing their 4-3-3. And it's not working for them against this opposition at this moment in time.
I'm not sure they're playing for it. I know they're supposed to be playing 4-3-3, Pat, but
they are playing 4-3-3. That's the problem. They have to change that.
Iheanacho is dropping deep constantly.
He's forced to drop deep because they don't have the ball.
That's what I'm saying. So there's more than 3 of them in there.
I've never seen Celtic so deep. In a game where, understandably, when you're playing, away from home, Atalanta last season, you think of how defensive minded they were, and absolutely had to be, and it was a brilliant performance. But since they've gone behind, you're right, Iheanacho's down, playing almost in line with the midfielders. Maida's coming in and tucking in. As Packy says, that there has to be an adjustment. The players are obviously recognising on the pitch that they need to get back in and help in numbers. I mean, the space that Horta finds himself in for the goal is massive, and when he gets the ball, he looks like instinctively looks wide to play it wide, then has a glance to his left and sees the amount of space he's in and thinks, well, I may as well have a shot here. Catches Schmeichel unaware, but in any case, he should still save it.
Yeah, it just moved. Pat, we always get replays in here. It moved very little, Pat, I have to say.
Well, then it's a big mistake from that distance out. You've got to keep your eye on the ball, keep your balance, get yourself set, and make sure that you keep eye contact with the ball and deal with it.
He jumps from where I mean, Kenny's saying it doesn't. It moves slightly. It's one of those kind of knuckleballs, but it's not all over the place. But he just jumps from where he's standing, then goes with his right hand instead of his left.
I think he thought it was going over the bar.
Yeah, and he misjudges the
33 yards. It was never above the bar, Pat.
No, it was, Tom.
Well, okay,
I think it was. I think
it's a high strike, and you might be right. It does.
I don't think it's maybe a little bit, but it's not like it's massive dip on.
You're going to wipe the glasses, Tom. He hits it high to start with.
There's not a massive dip on that, and he sees it all the way.
Yeah, it's coming down as it hits. As Schmeichel gets a touch. It doesn't matter. He should still save it. It's a routine one for him. I think he just shuffles to the side and either tips it over to be safe. Or catches it.
It's a huge.
I don't think it goes.
If it is, and it's a huge error, and
Kenny, you're watching this. It goes high, doesn't it?
Thankfully, we need to move on. Right, I'm not getting involved in this.
I'm not defending Schmeichel. He should save it.
Absolutely.
He should, but the main point about that is he sees it all the way.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing.
And he's given the ball away 3 times when he's trying to pass out from the back. He's given it away 3 times.
We're going to find out what changes Brendan Rodgers makes there, and it actually just sounds all really flat, apart from the boos on the half-time whistle there at Celtic Park. 8 o'clock there'll be a choice of listening. Sturm Graz against Rangers, also in the Europa League, and Aberdeen at home to Shakhtar Donetsk in the Conference League. Let's cross to Austria. Thomas Duncan and Stephen Thompson are there for us. Good evening to you, Stephen. What are you expecting from this, and what challenge will face Rangers tonight?
Good evening. Can I just say that I agree with Faddy? I've not seen the incident, but he'll be right. That's a fact.
I take Faddy's point about, okay, it's higher than I said, but I stand by it. He should have saved it. I think everybody would agree with that. Yes. Even though you haven't seen it, Tom, I think you'll agree with that.
Right, okay. What am I expecting? Well, it's difficult to know what to expect from Rangers really at this moment in time. Sturm Graz will be a difficult opposition, as they all are in European away games. But Rangers, actually, their record away from home in this competition over the last couple of years has been really decent. They should take a wee bit of confidence from Sunday's victory, but they've got to put in a solid 90-minute performance, which they really struggle to do. You know, it's hard to think of a Rangers game this season where they've played the full 90 minutes really, really well. So it'll be a test. It's not a massive stadium here in Sturm Graz, but it's going to be noisy. And the pitch probably isn't the best I've ever seen. It looks a wee bit patchy in areas, but Rangers need to, basically for Russell Martin, he needs to get a result. I mean, the Rangers fans are just off to our left hand side, and they've got their banners with them with the Martin out, and he came out to the edge of the technical area earlier when the boys were coming out and have a wee look at the pitch, and they were all shouting well, I can't say it.
What were they shouting, Tomo?
Talk us through that chant there, Tomo.
Good one. So, he's right up against it, Russell Martin, and any wee performance or any wee drop in performance or defeat, he's just going to be even more up against it. So he really, really needs a positive result tonight. Yeah, that's an 8 o'clock kick-off. We'll get back to Thomas and Stephen Thompson out there in Austria. So 8 o'clock start there. It's also an 8 o'clock start in the Conference League match at Pittodrie. Aberdeen up against Shakhtar Donetsk. Our commentary team there will be Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
It's all doom and gloom just now, isn't it? I'm just having a...
Let's add to it.
All right, we might have to. I'm having a doner kebab pie here at Pittodrie, and it's about as palatable as Aberdeen's season has been so far. It really has been woeful, and they're going up against an almighty task this evening against Shakhtar Donetsk. Let's make no bones about it. This is, to all intents and purposes, a Champions League team that Aberdeen, who are sitting bottom of the Premiership, having not scored a goal in the league. And they're going to have to try and get a result off them as they get their Conference League campaign up and running this evening. And Willie, it really doesn't get too much harder. This is one of the tournament favourites that they're going up against tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge test for Aberdeen. It would have been a huge test if they were actually playing at a high level, but they haven't been playing anywhere near the level that they should be playing at in the domestic league. I suppose, from a positive point of view, there was Eintracht Frankfurt that they managed to get the result against a couple of years ago. It was a win as well, but I think where they are just now, I think where Aberdeen are at this moment in time, it's a performance that they need to produce. A goal perhaps to give the fans a little bit of hope. Whether they're good enough, they don't look as though they're going to be good enough to take the 3 points, but it could be a turning point, Liam. It's been so bad this season for the club. They were little shoots of seeing a different formation with the 3 defenders at the back, which I thought looked a lot better against.
Would you like the team? We're getting tonight's team.
Yes,
would you like that?
Give me it and
before we have
that. On now. Make any sense of it.
Get a little bit of reaction from it as well. Mitov in goal, Devlin's in, skippers the team. Knuster, Milne, Dorrington, Keskinen, Clarkson, Palaversa, Armstrong, Carlson and Lazetic gets his first start for the club tonight.
So no Nisbet there, no. And the 3 centre backs, yeah. So it looks as though he's going with the same formation, which I think is the right way to go tonight.
And here the Celtic players, I think, making their way back out by the signs of things, Kenny. It's Aberdeen, Shakhtar Donetsk, Matchday 1 in the Conference League here at Pittodrie tonight on BBC Radio Scotland FM.
Good stuff. Liam and Willie will be on duty later on. 8 o'clock kick-off there. Also, we'll have live commentary from the Rangers match away to Sturm Graz. We'll hear from Jimmy Tulin. We'll hear from Russell Martin. We're on till 11 o'clock tonight on BBC Radio Scotland. Between 10 and 11, we'll bring you the post-match media conferences, and we'll be joined by fans from all 3 Scottish clubs involved tonight. So as the guys are saying, the team's back out at Celtic Park, let's get you back to our commentary team in the East End of Glasgow. That is Pat Bonner and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks, Kenny. Celtic making a change here. It looks like they're going to go 3 at the back. Marcelo Sarachi is coming on, but he's not replacing Kieran Tierney, who looks like he's going to move in one and join Liam Scales and Cameron Carter-Vickers. Colby Donovan is the player who's been replaced, and it looks like Maida will play as a right wing back and Sarachi will play as a left wing back. And I guess, Packy, you've been kind of asking them to go and match up, and that looks like what they're going to do.
Well, listen, you don't want 3v1 at the back either, so I think Kieran Tierney will have to step in to Horta on that side when he is playing that left centre back position, and try and match him up to allow Bernardo to push on to Gorby, and obviously Ziegler to push on to Grealish, and let McGregor be the one then that's dealing with Victor. But that needs to happen quickly.
Yeah, will it be Braga to get us back on the way? No changes for them as the Portuguese side prepare to get us off and running once more, leading by a goal to nil. And let's see what that tactical change. Tell a lie, there has been a change by Braga. Da Rocha is off, and they almost break through early on. But Da Rocha, who was in a yellow card, has been replaced by Victor Gomes. So that's a like-for-like change at right wing back for the Portuguese. Let me just quickly tell you, probably most people listening to this one won't really care about the Rangers team news, but just in case anyone is interested, looks like they're pretty much the same team as the one that started in Livingston, but Chermiti's in for Miowski, Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Cornelius, Magoma, Raskan, Barron and Osgar, Antman, Gassama and Chermiti. Liam gave you the Aberdeen team that starts against Shakhtar. We'll bring you both games live here on BBC Radio Scotland, but for now Celtic looking to get back at least on level terms, at least get themselves a point from this game. But the trail by a goal to nil as McGregor has to look lively to ensure Grealish didn't go onto the ball, and then Carter-Vickers knocks it back to his goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. It is pretty unusual, Packy, as you were kind of hinting at there at half time. Unusual for the home side to have to react to what the opposition are doing, what the visitors are doing. Usually you would expect the home team to kind of take the game to the visitors, but unfortunately that's not the way it's panned out. So it's kind of pragmatic from Brendan Rodgers to try and turn this game in his side's favour.
Yeah, I thought he might have just put an extra midfielder in there or tried to do something, but he's gone with 3 at the back. It does allow them to change something to see if the opposition then react to that, but certainly they've got to get a hold of the ball, they've got to get control of this game, and they've got to then hopefully make the chances that they can get back into it. Here's an opportunity.
Yeah, so they won the ball back in a good area, and it's Iheanacho, but he's just crowded out, couldn't get the shot off, and the chance has gone, and Braga clear over the halfway line, but better from Celtic as they won it back in a good area. Sarachi plays a slightly dodgy ball into the middle of the park. McGregor trying to help it on, but it's gone straight to Braga, and they will look to build again here as Horta picks up in the midfield. Back to the substitute Gomez, who feeds it forward in the right channel, but Erwazani won't beat Kieran Tierney to that. Tierney, of course, well used to playing that left centre back role, both for his country and at times he played it for Arsenal as well.
Oh my God.
That's a ropey looking back pass for Schmeichel to deal with. He does really well, the Dane, keeping it in play and then feeding it forward for Maida, who will be looking to do more attacking than defending in that wing back role, as Scales now has it just on the edge of his own penalty area. Clips it to his left to Tierney. Sarachi looking to get highs. Tierney waves Tinekti forward. Tinekti adjusts fouled there as the ball was racing down the left flank, but Lagerbielke, who he's not put a foot wrong, you would have to say, Packy, and he gets the benefit of the doubt from the referee there.
Yeah, it was just a match who was going to get there quicker. He just put his body across Tinekti and won his free kick.
Rain comes pouring down in the east end of Glasgow as Schmeichel comes to the edge of the box, rolls it to Carter Vickers, who helps it on to Nygren, who's going back the way, plays it back to Schmeichel once more. And now it's Scales just inside his own penalty area, out to the left hand side for Tierney, forward to Sarachi back to Scales. Celtic need to show a good deal of character here to get themselves back into this contest. 1-0 they trail. 4 minutes of the second half played. It's Maida, can't get it beyond Lello there on the far side, but out for a throw-in to Celtic.
Well, having traded back, it allows them maybe to build the game a slightly different way, and as Wani now has got to come out and take care of Tierney.
There's Chinecti trying to get onto that, but Vitor Carvalho on the cover knocks it back to his goalkeeper. Immediately forward, it's a decent looking ball. Carter Vickers got to be alert there. Celtic have given it away and trying to clear. Now it's Gomez. Gomez slips it here for El Wazani, right of the box, up against Tierney, onto the left foot, tries to curl it. That's only about a yard wide. It's a good effort that from El Wazani, got plenty of whip on it, just not quite enough, and it's still Celtic 0, Braga 1:50 played.
Yeah, what Celtic don't want to do now is lose a second goal, and at least keep themselves in this game, and when it gets down to a critical point, they would take a point out of it, and if you lose another goal, then the game is gone from you.
Certainly becomes an awful lot harder as Schmeichel clips it to his left to Tierney. Just sends the crowd, having some of them booed Celtic off at half time. There was a few groans going up in the second half, and Braga get the decision here on this near side. Braga free kick, and it's a real test of Brendan Rodgers. It's definitely probably the most testing period this start of the season since he's come back to Celtic, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think tonight obviously is a test from his tactical perspective. Can he get it right?
Iheanacho's in here. Iheanacho for the equaliser. Yeah! There it is. Braga making a mess of it at the back. Iheanacho in between two defenders, and he took it on left-footed to lash. Oh no, it's not going to stand. The referee's point for a handball.
He's pointed for a handball, oh my word.
It's a free kick to Braga instead. He's saying that Iheanacho handled it.
Oh, I'd like to see that one.
It'll be checked by VAR. Iheanacho's still celebrating. He doesn't realise.
I would like to see that one again. There's obviously been checked. The referee has called it, I think, on his own. I don't think he's got a shout from anybody else.
Yeah. It will be checked by VAR, but he reckons that as Iheanacho kind of bundled between the two Braga players, that it's come up and hit his hand. And remember, any handball, accidental or otherwise, by the goal scorer immediately means the goal is chalked off. And that's what the referee thinks he's spotted, and his VAR colleague is just checking that just now. Christian Diager is the VAR here.
Yeah, they're taking a while on it. No, and you talked about Lagerbielke. Bielka, having a really good game that time, both himself and I'm not sure who the other player was, but they got caught, and Iheanacho got onto it very, very quickly and bundled his way through them, and finished very, very well, I've got to say, with his left foot.
Yeah, it just seemed to come out of nowhere. I didn't really see what the mess that the Braga defenders made of things actually comprised of, but Iheanacho certainly took advantage. Now, did he use his arm in controlling the ball at some stage? That is what VAR are trying to determine right now. The referee thought he did. There is a long check still going on here. The fans don't like it. Iheanacho was bewildered when he eventually realised that the goal had been initially chalked off. Will he ultimately be allowed to celebrate?
Well, it's not
equalising goal.
There's a lot of doubt here.
No,
it's a handball.
It's not going to stand. VAR have doubled down on the referee's decision that it was a handball, and so it remains. Celtic 0, Braga 1, but hopefully, as you can hear the crowd getting behind their side again, hopefully that will G Celtic up and start to give them some impetus in this game.
Yeah, very much so, and it's again that shot of confidence you've got to say, adrenaline, that they know that there is an opportunity. As I said, don't lose a second goal, you've always got a chance.
So a big let off for Braga, and now you can hear the crowd again trying to lift Celtic, trying to get behind them. The 54 on the clock. It's still Celtic 0, Braga 1, just when we thought Celtic had dragged themselves back onto level terms. Iheanacho, who, as Paki said, did take it well as he took advantage of a defensive mix-up, but unfortunately for him there was a handball involved and the goal was chopped off. So out with Maida right hand side, coming back the way to Carter Vickers.
Celtic aren't comfortable playing with wing backs because they never do it, and when you see the position of again Maeda high up the pitch, now they end up losing the ball.
Yeah, McGregor's lost it. He just manages to recover inside his own penalty area and gets the pass off to Sarachi, but yeah, they are a little bit uncomfortable in that formation, certainly.
Well, that's the problem when Carter Vicker gets the ball, he has no real pass then to Maeda because he's so high up the pitch, and then he has to come on the inside, and there's a good ball from Scales into that space between the lines.
Sarachi looking for Iheanacho just beyond him. Maida coming in at the back post, it comes off Lelo, and Celtic corner, and again a lift for the home fans here. 1-0 they trail, 55 played.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do. That was a good ball from Scales, just picking out Sarachi, who had picked up that inside almost right position in the space, and he was able to open up quickly and then play forward quickly.
Benjamin Negrin out on that far side, preparing to take the corner kick, left-footed in swinger towards the near post. A good ball, but it's well headed clear at the near post by R&B. As a free kick has gone Celtic's way out that right flank as well, as Negrin's fouled, and so they'll have a different angle here for the set piece to be taken. Again, it'll be,
I would rather have the play carried on there because they were still pinned back. Braga and Celtic had opportunity to build very quickly through McGregor, and now they have a set piece, and they're never strong in set pieces. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, let's see. It's going to be Bernardo actually right-footed to take that from the right-hand side. Easily dealt with though, and not clear by the Braga defence. Sarachi tries that. That's a good, powerful header back to Schmeichel. I think Paki, from his little moan there, was worried that it wasn't going to reach Schmeichel, but it was a really good header from Sarachi, the Uruguayan. Maida picks up, keeper's out of his goal, but Maida couldn't get it under control to get the shot off. But it is better from Celtic at the start of this second period. Still 1-0 they trail.
Yeah, it's not easy to get power in a bouncing ball, isn't it? With your head, but he certainly did well, Sarachi. And then Maeda was in, and the goalkeeper had made the wrong decisions, came right off his line, and if he could get it under control, I'm not sure if he would have get his head up and see where the goalkeeper was, but it was an opportunity.
Scales now, everyone inside the Braga half as Celtic look for an equaliser here. 57 on the clock. They trail to Ricardo Horta, 20th minute strike from distance. Kasper Schmeichel, as much as anyone will be hoping that is not the decisive moment in the game, as McGregor's into the box. He's well challenged in the end for a corner. Thought he was going to get the shot off there to try and squeeze it home. Corner kick only.
Just couldn't get a ball out between his feet to get the strike away, and Carvalho really good defending just to slide in and give the corner away, but Celtic putting a bit of pressure on, which is great.
Negrin left-footed, corner kick from the right hand side, deep one this time. Up goes Tierney to try and make something of it. Lagerbielke there with him as well, as Braga will pick up possession down at their near corner flag up towards El Wazani, but the fluidity and fluency that was underpinning their play in the first period has pretty much disappeared. They can't get on the ball now. The Celtic change of formation seems to have helped, but just an uptick in performance as well, as Bernardo plays it forward down the left for Tinekti. Back with Bernardo just inside his own half, plays it back in field to Scales forward to McGregor on the halfway line on the half turn, gets it out to the left for Tinekti once more, comes in off that flank away from Gomez. Tinekti into the centre of the park. Now it's Carter Vickers, turns away from Pau Victor and plays it forward for Negrin. A little flick doesn't come off, and Braga pick up. That was poor from Nugren. He's better than that, as Grilic picks up and just plays it back to R&B at the edge of the penalty area. Back with Grilic once more, brings it out to the right hand side for Lagerbielke, and now Gomez on the right hand side, 15 yards inside his own half. Back for Lagerbielke. Celtic pressing strongly in this second half as well. It comes through to Iheanacho, now to Nekti on the angle of the box, left hand side, comes back in field. Iheanacho, can he get the shot off? Blocked. Back to the goalkeeper. Celtic fans claim that was a back pass. The referee disagrees. Not entirely sure myself, as Braga prepared to make a change of their own. They did make that straight swap at right wing back at the half-time interval, but they're going to make another change here, as the 39-year-old João Moutinho and all his experience is going to come on for the closing half hour. Forward they come though on the left hand side, as El Wazani tries to hold off Scales. Good strength from the Moroccan international, and he turns away from Scales and plays it back the way to R&B. There's a player down, a Braga player over on the left hand side. Didn't really see what happened there, but play continues, and he's back on his feet. I think it was Lelo, and here he is up and in possession. Back in field it goes, as Braga still wait to make that change. João Moutinho, ultra experienced performer, won Euro 2016 with his country, as well as the Nations League in 2019, among a multitude of domestic and European honours for his various club sides as well, not least Porto, as Pau Victor does well. On the left hand side now it's Lelo. El Wazani making moves into the middle. Can Lelo pick out a teammate? It's Hort on the stretch, cleared away by Kieran Tierney before he could get there, and McGregor's done well to win possession over on the right hand side, but that looked really dangerous just for a minute for Celtic, who now come forward themselves on the counter. It's Maida, stumbles to the ground. Was he fouled? No, the referee had a good look at it and says play on.
That was really good play from Victor there, out there. That's a problem when you have a wing back. There's no cover in behind at times.
Yeah, and it comes again from the left hand side. Scales gets it clear, but Maida, who's meant to be the wing back, isn't getting back there to operate in that position, and that's the difficulty when you've got essentially a forward player playing in that role. Now he's back in as Lelo picks up once more left hand side, but Braga almost getting a good bit of joy there after Celtic had started this half well. Braga looking to do as they did in the first period and play their way into it and take charge once more. They do lead by a goal to nil 61 minutes in. It's Hornicek, the goalkeeper, clips up to the halfway line. Still Moutinho waits on the touchline, waiting to come on. Breaking the ball there for Braga. Now they come forward in numbers. They've got an advantage here. It's Braga looking for a second goal. Initially deflected off Tierney, and then second time round Pau Victor denied by Schmeichel. That could so easily have been 2-0, but after 62 minutes it remains Celtic 0, Braga 1.
Yeah, Celtic hanging in, haven't they?
But here they come forward themselves. It's Maida right hand side in for Iheanacho. Good cover on the defensive there. Not behind, I think, for a Celtic corner. Well, that was end to end, and Celtic will have the corner. Moutinho will continue to wait because they don't want to make that defensive change when they're defending a corner, but could have been goals at both ends within 60 seconds there.
Yeah, he just needed to hold off that defender and use his right foot, Iheanacho, but he had let the ball come across onto his left side and allowed the defender just to get in and get the block in to knock it away for a corner.
Nugren now, right hand side, left footed in swingers, a decent ball. Tierney, great save. That looked bound for the back of the net as Tierney met it at the back post with a head, but outstretched the right hand of Hornicek to push it round the post for a corner here on this left hand side.
Yeah, it looked in, didn't it? You know, the goalkeeper, I don't know if he came across his goal, but he used that big length of his to just get a very vital hand to keep it out.
Corner from the left from Bernardo to the back post. Scales beaten in the jump, and Lelo will bring it clear for Braga. Tries to find Gorby. That's been given away to Sirachi. Sirachi back into the penalty area, too far ahead of Bernardo. Hornicek gathers, but he has kept his side in front here, the big goalkeeper, with a really terrific save to deny Kieran Tierney. It remains Celtic 0, Braga 1, 63.5 on the clock.
Yeah, those saves are vital when you're when you're defending a lead. And here they're in again.
Could
Come on,
be.
Schmeichel.
McGregor's there first. He takes it away from Schmeichel, who then seems to take out Gorby. Now helping him to his feet. And McGregor showed a really good turn of pace there to get there before either Gorby or Schmeichel. My goodness, this game is end-to-end just at the moment. Sarachi stopped in his tracks by El Wazani. Matinho now at last will be allowed to come on. Tierney will have to take that throw in again. It's going to be Grilic who is replaced. Celtic look like they're going to make a triple change just shortly. But what a breathless passage of play that was. Victor denied by Tierney and Schmeichel at one end, and then Tierney kept out at the other end by Hornacek. His header looked net bound, but for a good save by the Czech goalkeeper.
Yeah, Sully just hanging in on and not giving away that second goal. Obviously taking risk. Rodspech changed the system. They're almost getting in behind Maeda down that sort of almost their left hand side, but that last one there, you heard me shouting, Schmeichel, you've got to come. He's hesitated, and then he came again, and he was fortunate that McGregor just got there in time. You've got to be decisive.
Here's Maeda right hand side as Celtic changes are imminent. Hatate and Engels certainly coming on. Might not be a third at the moment, actually, just the two of them making their way to the touchline as Sarachi has it, plays it to his left to Tinekti now up against Gomez, coming in on that right foot again from the left hand side. Tinekti might get a shooting opportunity here, blocked by Moutinho at the edge of the box. A powerful and purposeful run by Tinekti. He's picked up once more, and again he steps away from Gomez. He's fed it through. Sarachi into the 6-yard box, behind or away by Carvalho, as the Celtic fans once more find their voice. The referee has awarded a foul throw against Celtic.
So silly error. Just takes the heat out of the game front when Celtic are just getting momentum going.
Nugren is going to be replaced by Hatate and Bernardo by Engels. Celtic look to re-energise that midfield. So 21 played in this second period. Celtic still looking for an equaliser as Hatate and Engels join the fray. Braga playing out from the back as RMB plays it out to his left to Lelo. He can only knock the ball out of play though. The Celtic fans do believe there is something in this for them. 1-0 they trail though, with a quarter of the game just over that remaining. Hatate gets his first few touches on the ball here in the middle of the park. Back to Carter Vickers. Now it's Scales. He plays it square just inside the Braga half for Tierney. Ball forward in the channel is well dealt with by Lagerbielke. Good play from El Wazani. Braga here in the counter-attack. Forward for Horta it goes. He's played the ball behind Pau Victor, who'll be chased here by Carter Vickers. Back the way it goes to Lelo. Infield for Moutinho, 39 years of age now. Former Wolves man. Now it's back with RMB on the edge of his own penalty there. Plays it to his goalkeeper, who's a good save from Tierney. Kept his side in front. Here he is once more, getting it back from RMB. Forward it goes, but rather aimless that time. Celtic throwing over on the far side. Quickly taken by Maeda. Back to Carter Vickers. McGregor takes over into Scales in the halfway line. Hatate now back the way to Tierney. Scales for Hatate, back with Scales. Out to his right hand side to Carter Vickers. Back in field to the Irishman Scales. Another change coming here for Braga very shortly as Rodrigo Salazar is preparing to come on. Scales, good ball forward for Sarachi, who's taken up some good positions since coming on. He helps it on to Tinekti, who still looks Celtic's most dangerous player in this left hand side. He's doubled up upon there, gets it back though to Hatate on the left hand side. Now into McGregor. McGregor turns it back to Scales, square for Carter Vickers, well into the Braga half, out to the right hand side from Iheanacho to Maeda. Maeda back the way to Carter Vickers. Back onto the halfway line now for Scales. Going to be a double change actually for Braga with Diego Rodriguez also preparing to come on. Hatate out to Engels, who gets on the ball for the first time. Carter Vickers into McGregor. Better possession is from Celtic. Can they make it something more meaningful? It's Tinekti once more left hand side, trying to get away from Gomez, who hasn't really got the measure of the winger so far. Scales for Carter Vickers. Keeping the ball well here, Celtic. What can they do with it as Maida comes in? They just catch the Braga player there. That's certainly what it was made to look like. And Braga do get the free kick and will make the double change. But you do feel that Celtic are certainly got more of a grip on the game, Packy. Just need to try and make it count.
Yeah, they have a grip in the game, but it's all about trying to get penetration and in that final third. They're doing it down the left-hand side. They're not able to do it down the right-hand side because Maeda's not that type of wing-back. He needs to be able to come on the inside. He needs to go in and he needs to be high up the pitch and with a bit of movement, and he needs somebody behind him to support him, and that's the problem. Every time he gets the ball so far, he's almost having to come back and just keep the ball and give it back to Carter Vickers, and it's recircled again, and that's a slight issue down the right-hand side. Left-hand side is not too bad. Sarachi's getting into good positions. Scales is picking him out with some really good passes, penetrating passes, and that allows Tinekti then to be on the ball, and he can go inside outside.
Those changes have been made. It's Ricardo Horta, the goal scorer, and the impressive Pau Victor, who have come off to be replaced there by Rodrigo Salazar and Diego Rodriguez for the closing 20 minutes. So 2 changes in the forward areas for the visitors, who are still lead by a goal to nil. Hatate working hard to keep possession there, gets it to Carter Vickers, he goes back to Schmeichel, he feeds it out to Kieran Tierney, leaves it now for Scales, closed down by El Wazani, but out to Carter Vickers on the right hand side. Forward it goes to Engels just inside his own half, moves it back to Carter Vickers once more. Celtic need to keep the tempo up as Carter Vickers now takes the initiative, crosses the halfway line, has the check back though for Engels, and McGregor now just inside the Braga half. Hatate for Scales into Sarachi, who again occupies that inverted wing back role. Again, Celtic being forced back the way though. It's good pressing from the Portuguese side. Continue to lead by a goal to nil with just over 18 minutes to play. Here's Hatate though, out to the left hand side for Tinekti in an advanced area, up against Gomez, getting into the penalty area, goes on the outside this time, tries to squeeze it across goal, seems to come off his arm, nothing given. Sarachi with a poor cross, looks like way too much on it. Iheanacho working hard to try and keep it in, he's managed to do so. Good play from the striker. Carter Vickers will close down, and it's out for a throw-in to Celtic over on the far side, quickly taken by Carter Vickers for McGregor. Celtic continue in pursuit of an equalising goal. McGregor into Hatate. Engels now into the penalty area, has come off. Carvalho, unfortunately for him, scoops up into the air and right into the arms of the goalkeeper Hornacek. That could have gone anywhere, but it was a lucky bounce in the end for Braga, and it remains Celtic 0, Braga 1, 72 on the clock. Forward it comes into the midfield, but Celtic winning all the loose balls now. The second balls are being picked up by the home side as Carter Vickers gets out to Maida, right hand side, looks to try and take on Lello, who sticks a foot out and knocks it out of play. Engels looking for options here, and eventually just leaves the throw in to be taken by Maida, right hand side. Remember, commentary of Sturm Graz against Rangers, or indeed Aberdeen against Shakhtar, whatever your preference is. You can get them both at our website, and there'll be a split in our frequencies, and the Aberdeen game will be on 810 medium wave and Radio Scotland Extra as Celtic come forward again. It's Tinekti into the penalty area once more. He's past one man. Can he get the shot off? Oh, what a save that is! Phenomenal stop from Hornacek as he looked to again have been beaten by the powerful strike from only about 12 yards from Tunekti, but he goes down to his left hand side and pushes it behind for a corner. What a stop that is, Packy.
An incredible stop, a huge save at this moment in time, because Tunekti looks like the one. He's the one that's creating, he's the one that's able to go at players outside, inside. That time he comes in the inside.
In comes the corner, headed away by Lagerbielke, only as far as Hattati, edge of the box. Swings it back out to the right hand side for Engels. Engels touches it back to McGregor, midway inside the Braga half now, plays it square to Hattati. Hattati looking for options, has to spin and come away from goal, and then plays it short to Sarachi out to the left hand side. It's a lot better now from Celtic, and it's Tunekti once more. He could be the man who makes a difference for Celtic. Just showed too much of that to Gomez, but gets it back to Hattati. He scoops it into the area. Sarachi trying to keep it alive. Half clear, but Carter Vickers first to it, then Gomez just nudged to the ground there by Sarachi, and he gets the free kick, and a much needed bit of respite for Braga, who are very much on the back foot. And they've got their goalkeeper to thank in this second period for somehow still being in front.
Yeah, I've got to go back to that save. Tunekti did brilliantly. He curled that ball. It looked as if it was just going to be scraping inside that left hand post, and the goalkeeper used real power and strength and dived square to the ball and made a brilliant touch around the post. He's a big lad. He used all his length in that occasion.
He's taking this free kick here well into the Celtic half. A second Braga goal might well be too much now for Celtic to come back from, but to be fair, it's the home side who look the likelier to score in this second period. They've had all the better efforts. They've had a goal chopped off for an Iheanacho handball as Maida comes forward down the right hand side. He hasn't been as effective tonight as Celtic would have been hoping him to be. McGregor on the halfway line for Scales to Tierney. We've got 15 minutes left to play. Celtic 0, Braga 1. Ricardo Horta's first half long range effort, which beats Michael, although it shouldn't have. That is the difference between the sides. But Celtic making all the running in this second period. Braga being forced to just sit in their own half, as they're doing so right now, as Scales plays it short to McGregor. Carter Vickers back to Scales inside the centre circle. Celtic need to find a bit of inspiration. James Forrest stripped and ready to come on, might be the man to try and provide it. Guess that he'll probably replace Maida as Braga try and play the ball forward. Nothing sticking for them right now. Tunekti picks up possession. Braga getting plenty numbers round about him as they realise that he is the key man for Celtic. Forward come Braga down that right hand side. It's going to be a Celtic throw in. Brendan Rodgers claiming for that and helping to influence the official perhaps as Maida is replaced. And Tierney's also just feeling something just at the moment, as Austin Trusty, who's on the bench tonight, having missed a big chunk of the season, makes his way back to the technical area. He might be required in these closing stages if Tierney can't shrug off whatever he's feeling now.
Well, Forrest has played that position before in the past, so he knows how to do it. And I'm just thinking Maeda would have probably tried it, but it hasn't quite come off for him.
Sarachi fouled there and gets the free kick for Celtic. Midway inside the Braga half, quickly taken. Celtic in a hurry, needing an equaliser as McGregor tries to poke it beyond Lagerbielke. Can't get it beyond the Swede, who feeds it forward now for El Wazani. Well watched by Carter Vickers, just nods it down for Scales. That was potentially dangerous there, but Carter Vickers dealing with the danger well. 12 and a half to play plus added on time. Celtic 0, Braga 1. Can Celtic at least find a leveller as Engels has it right hand side, midway inside the Braga half. Goes back the way to Scales. James Forrest incidentally coming on for his 121st European appearance for Celtic. Here's Tierney in an advanced roll out to Tunekti. It goes left hand side up against Gomez. Again taking him almost to the byline. Now back with Tierney. Tierney infield to Hatate. Hatate will stand up to the back post, looking for Iheanacho. Well cleared by RAMB, but only as far as Forrest right hand side. He's up against Lello, tries to get it back in with the help of Engels on the right hand side. Again, it's away by RAMB, only onto the chest of McGregor. Back out to Engels once more. Now Forrest right hand side, Owen inside the corner. 11 and a half left on the clock. Celtic 0, Braga 1, but the pressure mounting on that Braga back line.
If they're going to win this game, Celtic need to score very, very quickly just now to put that last 10 minutes real pressure on, and this is an opportunity for them. But
yeah, corner kick, right hand side. Engels will take the outswinger with the right foot, and it comes towards the near post. Well won by Carter Vickers, but he couldn't get the header on target as he met it at the near post. Well off target in the end, despite getting good contact on it, just couldn't get the direction, and it remains 1-0 Braga. But Celtic will feel an equaliser is coming. Is it going to come in time?
It's like this league format. I think again, I know that 3 points is crucial at home, but at this stage you take your point.
And certainly the way the scoreline stands at the moment, you pretty much would have to. The Celtic have been way better in the second period, but still haven't been able to find that elusive goal, as the goalkeeper takes a big chance at the back. In slides Engels and almost catches Hornacek, but manages to get it clear, and Braga will bring it forward. Lagerbielke playing it infield to Matinho, the wily old campaigner. Gomez tries to force it forward down the left hand side. Srirachi in the way and out for a throw in, as it's going to be another change here. It's actually Dane Murray who's going to come on for Kieran Tierney. I thought Trusty was going to get the call, but it's the young homegrown talent who replaces another one. Tierney replaced then for the closing 10 minutes, as it remains Celtic 0, Braga 1. Is there a way back into this game for Celtic? As Gomez has gone down rather dramatically once more. Schmeichel has made a mess of another clearance. It's not been a great night for Schmeichel, you'd have to say, either with the ball at his feet or indeed didn't cover himself in glory by any stretch of the imagination at the goal. Another Braga change. Gabriel Martinez is going to come on, maybe not before this throw-in's taken, no. Thrown out on the left hand side then, deep in Celtic territory for Braga. 1-0 the lead, 9 minutes left to play plus added on time, as Braga have it out on that far side. Played infield to Gorby. Gorby spinning away from Hatate, goes back the way to the halfway line to Carvalho. He steps away from Iheanacho. Slightly clumsy challenge from the striker, and it will be a free kick the way of the visitors. It's going to be El Wazani to be replaced by Martinez for these closing stages here at Celtic Park, and
he's played well, Wazani, hasn't he? You know, he's held the ball up really well. He's been a threat at times, and just led that line superbly well for them.
They lost 2-1 on their one and only visit here previously. That was back in Champions League qualifying in 2010, but they advanced on aggregate, having won the home leg 3-0, and that's the season. They finished third eventually in their Champions League group stage and went on to drop into the Europa League and reach the final, and the one that Paki was talking about back in 2011 when they lost to Porto on that occasion. Their countrymen beating them in the final. That's the best that they've achieved in the Europa League. The furthest they've been since then was the quarter-final when Rangers beat them on their way to the final in 2022. It's out for a throw in to Braga, right hand side, about 10 yards from the Celtic corner flag, as Gomez takes it in to the feet there of Gorby. The substitute Martinez trying to make something of it, but Celtic get it half clear. Lagerbielke picks up. I think there'll be a few people looking to speak to him in the mixed zone afterwards, particularly if Braga can hold on to the advantage, to this advantage they hold. 1-0 as it stands with 7 to play plus added on time. Not back to the goalkeeper, who's closed in by Iheanacho, but gets it off to Lello, who slides it forward. One for Murray to chase, and he gets there just in advance of the Braga player. Scales has it now back to Schmeichel. 1-0 Braga lead. Celtic fans want the ball to go forward as Celtic just try and play out from the back. It's Murray who's gone to the right hand side of the back three. Carter Vickers has moved into the middle. Oh, he's given that straight to Martinez. Terrible pass. Scales tries to recover. Insides Carter Vickers, and he wins possession for Celtic once more after his own error. Now it's fed forward by Engels. Cut out by RAMB though.
Yeah, really sloppy from Carter Vickers there.
Unfortunately for him, he and Scales were able to recover, but it's Braga coming forward again. Gaps opening up here as Celtic commit bodies forward, and it's Gomez driving up towards the edge of the box. Plays it to his left hand side. Could there be a chance here on the left foot? Good save, Schmeichel. It's going to break to Martinez. Blocked by Scales, but it's into the back of the net by Martinez, the substitute. Schmeichel and Scales blocking initial efforts, but they could not keep it out third time around, and Diego Martinez has surely won it for Braga with just 6 minutes left to play. It's Celtic 0, Braga 2.
Yeah, listen, all over the place at the back, and just block after block, and eventually then I think it was young Murray that just took a swipe at it, and it comes off. I don't know whether it comes off him or comes off the player, and it goes into the back of the net. But yeah, the game's over now, 2-0. Can't see Celtic getting back into this in any way, shape or form, and it was always going to happen. I did say don't give away that second goal if you can. They tried in the second half to lift their game and get the goal back, but they were always vulnerable at the back.
Well, the crowd flooding towards the exits as that second Braga goal went in. Diego Martinez with that strike. Gabriel Martinez, I beg your pardon, with his strike, having just come on the field of play, and that surely settles this one in favour of the Portuguese, and it's another good looking scoreline for them in the Europa League. Despite their domestic problems, they have come to Celtic Park. They had the better of the first half, deservedly in front at half time, and although Celtic made a much better fist of it second half, they just couldn't find an equaliser. And as I said, gaps were beginning to open up as Celtic committed players forward, and they were made to pay for that, and some poor defending in the end as Gabriel Martinez, the Spaniard, lashed home at the third time of asking to make it Celtic 0, Braga 2, and just 4 minutes left on the clock now. It is a long way back for the home side. Carter Vickers out to the right hand side now for Engels. The Celtic fans are making their way home. They feel this game is beyond them as Gomez, who does well again on the right hand side, it was him that managed to foray forward into the edge of the penalty area to initially create the opportunity that led to that second Braga goal. As Celtic look for a free kick in the middle of the park, it's not forthcoming. Gomez does well again, and it's the goal scorer Gabriel Martinez on the right hand side, forward for Gomez once more. Braga just need to keep possession here. Looks like they're heading on to a maximum 6 points from their opening 2 games at the start of this Europa League campaign. They're going to visit Ibrox later in the campaign as well, 27th of November. They're back in Glasgow for that one against the side that have beaten them in the Europa League a couple of times in recent seasons, but it is Braga who have got the better of the Scottish champions tonight, unless there is a massive and dramatic turnaround in the closing 3 minutes plus added on time. And hopefully this is not a sign of things to come for the Scottish clubs tonight in Europe, as Forrest attacks down the right hand side. He's got the better of one defender. Not a great cross from him though, and Braga managed to just whack it clear up to the halfway line. Rangers to come against Sturm Graz also in this competition. You've got commentary of that one if you wish, or you can listen to Aberdeen Shakhtar from 8 o'clock if you want to tune to 810 medium wave or Radio Scotland Extra, or you can hear both of them at our website, BBC Sports Scotland. But here for the moment, it's the final stages of a depressing evening for Celtic in the Europa League, trailing by 2-0 against Braga. 7th place in the Portuguese league, having finished 4th last season. And despite Celtic's improvement in the second half, Packy, can you make an argument that Celtic deserve anything from this game?
No. Too many mistakes from some players in key positions also. Yes, you can argue that they tried hard in the second half, but they had nothing really that they could no firepower up front either. How many chances? David, the goalkeeper, to be fair to him, had a couple of really good saves, but not enough intent for me. It's keeping the ball fine, moving it around, but not enough real intent in that final third. And then, of course, not able to defend, and big mistakes with Schmeichel. And even the last goal, I thought it was very, very poor defensively.
Late yellow card there for Liam Scales for a challenge on the scorer of that second goal, Diego Martinez. And we're into the final minute of the 90. Braga leading by 2-0. Celtic are going to be left on just 1 point from their opening 2 games. It looked like a decent, solid opening with a draw out in Belgrade, but they have not followed that up here at home. And so they'll have a lot of work to do to make this a successful campaign. Their next European outing is against Rangers. Opponents tonight. 6 minutes added on at the end of this one. Can Celtic somehow mount a late famous comeback? They need 2 goals to do that, simply to grab themselves a point. They have it on the halfway line through Callum McGregor. Yeah, that's Sturm Graz game at home coming on the 23rd of October. They've got Motherwell here on Sunday before the international break, and then a trip to Dens Park before Sturm Graz come here towards the end of the month. And that game will definitely take on must-win proportions, you feel, as Celtic give up possession rather easily, turned back to the goalkeeper by RMB. And again, you would have to argue, much like I saw last Thursday, that's surely offside against
it's offside.
Well offside, as Braga come forward looking for a third goal. Yeah, much as I saw at Ibrox last week, all the better players on that evening were in visitors' colours for Genk. And it's tough to say the same is true here tonight, Packy, that the better players on the night have been Braga players.
Yeah, apart from that sort of almost 15-minute opening spell from Celtic. Second half, yes, they got enough, but it didn't really do too much. And I just looked as if this game was going to peter out and a second goal was going to come for Braga eventually.
Tunekti's been really the only one you would say here he is in possession. Yeah, the only one who's looked like he could make something happen, really. And even he has been he was denied by a fabulous save. You'd have to say the goalkeeper made 2 brilliant saves at 1-0, and but for that it could have been a different story. But ultimately a poor first half has really cost Celtic.
Yeah, listen, he's come out out of it well. Tunekti, I think every time he got a ball, he was willing to take people on and go and try and create something. Sarachi coming on, I thought actually had a bit of an impact in the second half. Got into really good positions and linked up well with Tunekti. But apart from that, very, very, very little else I've got to say.
Yeah, and very, very, very disappointing ultimately for Celtic as time ticks away from them. We've played 2.5 minutes of the 6 added on here at Celtic Park, but most of the home fans have already headed off, clearly not believing that there is going to be any sort of comeback by their side. Carter Vickers under pressure turns the ball back to Kasper Schmeichel, whose error led to the opening goal. Here's Murray, gets it back from McGregor at the back still for Celtic. Scales forward, McGregor for Hattati, looking to try and find a way forward. Sarachi taken out off the ball there. Referee doesn't award the free kick for some reason. Looked like he might have tried to play the advantage, but when it didn't come, it should have been a free kick to Celtic. Anyway, it's a throw in now, taken by Hattati back to Scales. McGregor now, captain, who'll really have been looking for better from himself and his teammates. I think it's fair to say that neither he nor a number of the Celtic players haven't hit the same heights as last season, as Lagerbielke dives into a challenge there and gets away with it against Sarachi, and it has been a favourable return for him to Celtic Park as McGregor now bounds forward down the left hand side. It's Tunekti taking up the charge once more on the left. Two players come to confront him and Gomez takes it from him, and now Braga just try and dink the ball forward. It's Gomez picking up once more. It's neat interchange down the right hand side as Gomez emerges with possession. It's really good play at times from Braga that we've seen in this game, but Celtic, for all their better play in the second half, haven't been able to create that goal scoring moment. Iheanacho with one chopped off. I think he felt it was harsh, didn't feel like he handled the ball, but presumably the referee and VAR have not both got it wrong as Celtic pick up possession once more. A couple of minutes left of added on time. 2-0 they trail here in the very dying moments. We'll hear from Brendan Rodgers later on. That'll likely be after the two other games. We managed to get that news conference of Brendan Rodgers out to you, maybe at half time, but failing that, you'll certainly get the quotes and so on at the website. Celtic come forward looking for perhaps a consolation, pushed away by Hornacek.
Again, the goalkeeper, gets his hands to it before everybody else and knocks it out away from the danger zone. Good goalkeeping again, you've got to say, under pressure.
Here's Forrest, right hand side. Not too long left now for Celtic to try and find something. Forrest penalised just at the edge of the Braga penalty area, and that'll be pretty much it now. 30 seconds left to play, and Celtic disappointing in Europe, and that will now, I mentioned that stat earlier on, the 1-0 win last season against Young Boys. That will now be just 1 in 10 in European football for Celtic. 5 draws and 4 defeats within that, including this one here tonight, which is very much heading towards a defeat, which is confirmed now and met with even louder boos than you heard at half time. Understandably, those Celtic fans who remained to the bitter end booing their side off. Unimpressive on the whole performance, certainly in the first half. Despite having started quite well, they found themselves behind in 20 minutes as Ricardo Horta from almost 40 yards hit a pile driver that Schmeichel should nonetheless have kept out but failed to do so. That was 1-0, and that was the score at half time. It was an improved Celtic in the second period after a change of formation to match up with the 3-5-2, and indeed they thought they had a leveller on 52 minutes as a defensive mix-up let Iheanacho in, and he finished well, but the referee pointed for a free kick for a handball, and that was backed up by VAR to deny Celtic the equaliser. Celtic though were pressing, and there was a really good save by Hornacek to keep out a Tierney header just moments after Paul Victor had been denied at the other end by a combination of Tierney and Schmeichel, but Hornacek made an even better save 12 minutes later on 74 when Tunecki cut in from the left hand side. Celtic's best player almost grabbed an equaliser, but a powerful effort towards the far post was really, really well kept out by the Czech goalkeeper to push it away, and they were made to pay with just 5 minutes of the 90 remaining as Braga broke forward, and Martinez eventually, after a couple of efforts had been blocked, Martinez managed to force the ball into the back of the net to make the final score at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, Braga 2.
Celtic in the UEFA Europa League.